In today's video, I'd like to quickly share with you a script that I wrote, and it's probably one of the simplest, easiest to follow, yet one of the most profitable strategies that you can find here on TradingView. It's called the Trend Pro strategy, and as the name implies, it is a trend following strategy. So the reason I prefer this style is because if you get to catch a big wave in the markets with little risk, then your reward to risk multiplier can be huge, right? So let's get right into it, into this perfect example of the Kiwi Canadian, which has been trending so strong in the past couple of days, even I think the past 1 or 2 weeks. And we do a bar replay here right about the 11th of November, okay? Where we get this signal from the strategy. So again, you simply just put the strategy on your chart, and it's linked below, and you can immediately see and backtest the results for yourself, right? So it's very simple. If you go to the strategy settings, what you have here is just essentially one setting, right? Your risk appetite. You choose between low, moderate, and high. Now, this risk per trade in percentage here is just for cosmetic purposes, just so you can monitor your own trade, right, or your own entry, or at least get an idea when you do back testing. Okay, so personally, for me, I use the moderate setting for this strategy. If I set this to high, then essentially it produces more signals, and the risk will be a little higher. Okay, if I put it to low, this is essentially looking for like higher time frame signals, which can be very good if you're a swing trader or you don't have that much time to trade. You can set this to low and send alerts on your smartwatch occasionally, and decide whether to take a trade. So let's put this back to low, and again, let's go back to the Kiwi Canadian chart, right? So as you can see, and let me replay this a little bit more. Right before this signal was shown, this is our chart, right? So you have automatic resistance and support areas that are drawn into here. And as soon as, let me just slow this down a bit, as soon as a signal is detected, there you go, you get this signal. It's a strategy signal, and you can feed this into your alerts, into your smartwatch or your phone. And then from there, it tracks that signal, right, as it goes up. And this is a perfect example of how you catch a big wave. And I'll share with you a little secret in a little while, how to make your profits even larger using the trend bro signal. So this just keeps going up straight into the resistance zone. Okay, so probably here, once your stop loss is past your entry price, you can already set break even on your broker, right? That's the prudent thing to do. Stop loss is very important. And of course, as I always say, and if you watch some of my YouTube videos or other content here, keep your risk to a minimum. Set it at around 2% of your equity, and you should be completely fine and survive in the markets. If you are a beginner trader, then this is, I think, the perfect indicator for you, right? It gives you a sense of where to place your risk, and how to trail your profits. So let's keep going. Okay, so it's heading towards a resistance zone. And if you're set on your break even, you can actually do a set and forget kind of thing, right? So yeah, so price action is not good, and then stops you out, right? If you trailed this, then you would have ended up in about zero point 0.7 reward to risk. So it's not bad. But here's the secret that I use myself, right? Once I get this signal here, right? And this is where discretionary trading falls. You can follow this strategy as is, but for me personally, this is what I do, right? I get a signal here, I go long around here, but as I enter the ticket on my broker, right? So let's go along here. I go to the smaller time frames and check for uh, better support areas. Like For example, let me turn off the magnet here. I think if this is the entry, let me see, the entry candle is right here. So that's about here. Then my support would be here instead of, if I go back to the 1 hour time frame, instead of having it all the way here, right? So just here underneath this yellow candle, these are the trigger candles, by the way. Some use it for, I use it sometimes for scaling in. If I see another yellow candle, then I can increase my position. And then I trail from here. So if then we replay this trade, let's make it a little faster. Then let's go to the part where we get stopped out, and right about here. All right. Then our actual risk to reward here is pretty good. It's 2.43. Reward to risk. I'm sorry. All right. So then it gets better, right? Because now you can do discretionary trades. For example, you settle for a 1 to 1 here. Just let it fly, right? Maybe leave it a couple of days. Get stopped out immediately at another trend resumes, right, towards the resistance zone. Personally, I would not have taken this because it's so close to this resistance zone. Again, discretionary trading is advised as well. But if indeed you want to take this, then you can set your stop loss here at a safe spot, and still your risk should be 2%. All right, keep that in mind. So if I keep trailing this on the new trend, imagine if I just left this 1 to 1, let it run, did not get stopped out, and let's play this some more. Right, all the major news is kicking in. Then now I trail again here. I'm actually at 6.3 reward to risk. Now let's say we leave it a couple more days, maybe a week, and now your reward to risk here is actually 14. That's huge. That's crazy huge, right? And say I leave this for another couple days, and as you can see, the trend has resumed again. So if you're just entering now, then you can feel free to enter as long as your risk is at 2%. Okay, and that's I guess a pro tip for you guys out there. If you want to follow this strategy, always your risk keep it at 2%. It keeps you alive in the markets. It's easy to recover. Yet when you ride the big trends, using things like this, like Trend Pro, look at this, 18 reward to risk on a single trade. And another tip that I have for you, if you do decide to follow this, is to try and trade one pair at a time. You will get plenty of signals, especially I have, a list like this that I have, which has all the currency pairs. I would suggest you apply it to your favorite pairs, and whichever pair um, produces like the first signal, that's the pair that you trade. Any other succeeding signals, try to ignore them. Try to keep it one trade at a time. If your trade doesn't go well, fine, you lose at 1 or 2% depending on how you trail it. But then, if you manage to ride a huge wave, you can expect very large returns. So feel free to try it out. It's associated in the link below. It's linked below, and test it out for yourself. Do a back test, and if you would like to get the version with live signals, then feel free to access uh, my website. Okay, so that's about it for Trend Pro strategy. We can also have a look at the other pairs, but maybe we can save that for another time. Currently, I'm also in a trade in oil, right? So as it's breaking out right now here on this minor level, we got a signal. Okay, although it's retracing back, right? So if this is go my direction, that's 2%. But if it does, then it can be huge, right? 4, 5, 6 return reward to risk, as I've shown you earlier, and even more, right? If it becomes a multi-day runner or even a multi-week runner. All right. So I hope I gave you some insights and as well some essential tips on how to survive in this market. Again, It's called the Trend Pro strategy. Feel free to try it out, test it in the charts, do a back test, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.